Okay, hi everybody. Thank you for bearing with me. Taking me a second to make sure that you could hear me and that we're streaming for you. Welcome to this segment on Atlanta News First Plus. We call this In Case You Missed It at 11 o'clock every single day. You can catch some of the stories that are making headlines that you might not have caught earlier in the day. Listen, maybe you're on your mobile device outside today watching us, because if you're not outside today, you need to get outside. It is absolutely gorgeous. Started off kind of cool this morning, but certainly going to be a beautiful day. As a matter of fact, the First Alert weather team says that we may break some records, may even hit 80 degrees today. Can you believe that? That would be 20 degrees above normal. Now, I don't know about you. That makes me want to get outside and do projects. If you ever watch us on Atlanta News First on our morning show, my co-anchor, Brooks Baptiste, I think keeps our home improvement stores in business. Check out his social media feed, because he is always posting about something he's doing around the house. And let me tell you, he's pretty handy. I told him if he lived closer, I would quit paying the people I call to come fix things at my house, and he could take care of it. In any case, Home Depot is one of his favorite spots, and we are getting some information about just how profitable the Atlanta-based company really is. Check this out. We found out that the long sales slump that company has had for a while is over. The company said sales at stores open at least a year are up 0.8% last quarter. That's pretty good. So that basically ends 8 straight quarters of declining sales. The company's also giving a pretty good upbeat forecast for 2025, saying that sales would grow by 1%. And certainly that is going to be very good news for more than just Home Depot, because America's biggest home improvement retailer, and that is exactly what this store is considered to be kind of a bellwether of the U.S. housing market and the economy. So, kind of like if people are shopping at Home Depot and if they're doing home improvement projects, that means they're having pretty good confidence that things are going to improve, no matter what we're paying at the darn grocery store for eggs these days, which is a lot. My girls bake, and I tell you, every other day they're going to the store to buy eggs. So I don't even ask. How much does it cost? I don't care. But in any case, Home Depot sales looking up, and that is certainly good news. 80 degrees today, but how many of you are thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm ready for fall. Already? No, I'm not ready for fall. Some of you are. And, one of the biggest music festivals that Atlanta has takes place in the fall. And we're getting an idea now, because they start preparing ahead for who's going to be headlining this music festival. We know who the lineup is going to be for this year's Shaky Knees Music Festival. And I told my morning team this morning on the air, I said, every time I say Shaky Knees, you know what I want to do. And you know what you want to do too. You can't see it, but I'm shaking my knee. How about that? So we know who is going to be playing at Shaky Knees this year. My Chemical Romance, Blink 182, Deftones. They're all headlining that 3-day festival, which takes place at Piedmont Park. Vampire Weekend, Lenny Kravitz, the Black Keys, and Sublime. Those are some of the other big acts that are going to be taking the stage. That festival is September 19th through the 21st. So you're saying, well, why are we talking about this already? Well, the reason we are, even though it's several months away, is that ticket pre-sales start on Thursday. So if you are planning on attending or thinking that you might want to, you can get a jump on those tickets. Look at that. Check that out. That looks pretty good. If you have lived in Atlanta for a little bit of time, or if you've lived in Atlanta for a long time, if you have to fight rush hour traffic, if you watch us on the morning show, you know just how terrible traffic here is in Atlanta. And now we're finding out that 4 of America's worst areas for truck bottlenecks are actually right here in Atlanta. 4 out of the top 10. That's pretty bad. According to the, here, let me show you right here. According to the American Transportation Research Institute, the 4th worst intersection for trucks is Interstate 285 at I-85 North. Most of us know that. Check it out, Spaghetti Junction. And then coming in at number 6 is Interstate 75 at I-285 North. That's out near Truist Park and Cumberland Mall. The 10th worst is Interstate 20 and I-285 West Interchange. That's west of Atlanta, not too far from Six Flags Over Georgia. And then finally, coming in at number 12, that's Interstate 75 in McDonough. That's about 30 miles south of Atlanta. That's an area that almost every day sees rush hour traffic jams. And I will tell you that for those of you that, maybe sometimes visit Florida or, travel that area headed down toward Perry, I did that recently, headed down to Florida, and I was thinking, gosh, I'm not even in the city of Atlanta. I'm out toward McDonough. Traffic was terrible down there. So now you know, probably something we didn't have to tell you if you live or travel near here, that Atlanta has some of the worst traffic in the country. So even though my alarm goes off at 2:30 every morning, I am ever grateful that I do not have to sit in traffic. And when our team of traffic reporters and journalists here talk about, as a matter of fact, our meteorologist, Courtney Jacobazzi, and First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris are bringing you those traffic reports early in the morning. These are some of the areas that they talk about a lot. And that just shows you bumper to bumper traffic almost every single day. So there you go. Well, we're getting close to, we're getting close to wrapping up Black History Month toward the end of this week, and Black lawmakers are being honored in Georgia. There's a bill in the State House right now that's working to right what they call a Reconstruction era wrong. So this bill would honor the 33 Black legislators who were elected in Georgia. They were elected in 1868. Ultimately, they were denied entry into the Georgia General Assembly, and they were not allowed to serve even though they were elected. So this, more than a dozen of them were actually lynched before the Supreme Court ruled in their favor, reinstating these lawmakers. So we've got video from that hearing for House Bill 303. Again, this is something that would basically right this wrong that happened decades and decades ago. And if you'd like to check that out, that is available on the free Atlanta News First website. So check that out as well. And we've had some great stories from our reporters and anchors during Black History Month, really talking about some of the contributions that African Americans have made here in Georgia. And my colleague, Lana Harris, had the opportunity to speak with a woman, and she talked about a slave-turned-entrepreneur who is making sure that this new generation does not forget the past. Check out her story.
When you look up on the wall, you'll see a picture of the first Black hospital in Macon.
Barbara Tolliver Rogers' house is somewhat of a museum.
It's a lot of history in this room.
Really, it's everywhere you look.
See, I just go around and find things. To preserve history, I try to pick it up and save it.
From a typewriter and washboard to the loads and loads of pictures.
And most times people come in, they want to ask about these pictures.
They're like a glimpse into the past at the place Rogers has lived her whole life.
So I know every tree was buried, and I know every tree done died.
And Rogers says her family's history runs deep in Macon, Georgia.
In this particular area, what we call Summerfield, Blacks own a lot of land in here.
And it turns out her grandfather, A.D. Tolliver, owned a huge chunk of it.
200 acres of it.
And that's even more impressive because Rogers says he'd started as a slave and later worked as a railroad man and a dairy hand on a plantation till he was able to buy land himself.
He sacrificed a lot because he wanted his children to have better than he had.
His story and so many other pieces of history could be lost if not for Rogers' mission to save it.
I've been collecting history for a few generations.
Frankly, she feels this shouldn't be the only month you hear about it.
If people put all the history in the history book equally and correctly, there will be no need for a Black History Month.
Rogers believes the best way to get truth about history is to talk to people who experienced it. It's only left her with one regret.
Only thing I wish I had started earlier.
Lana Harris, Atlanta News First.
I love that story. I don't know about you, but I have learned something new really every story that we have done during Black History Month, and you have the opportunity to check this story out for yourself if you'd like to watch it again, and maybe share it with a young person who could appreciate and learn something. We've got a lot of those stories again on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com, and also in our free Atlanta News First app. Just search under the Black History section, and just a wealth of information and great stories there for you. Actually, I've got one that's going to be airing here at the end of this week. Hopefully you'll get a chance to check that out. And I got the opportunity to interview just an amazing chef who is breaking barriers and breaking through ceilings for women and for African Americans here in Atlanta, and that's coming up on Friday. So hopefully you'll get a chance to check that out as well. And I hope you get outside and enjoy this gorgeous day today. Rodney Harris is going to be here in just a little bit to talk more about the weather coming up. No first alert weather days in the forecast. And then, of course, we'll have the latest stories for you coming your way at noon. Make it a good one.